So what feeling comes in your mind when you look at this flag? The feeling of oneness. You all believe that we all are Indians and you feel very proud about it. So when we talk about nationalism, it's a feeling of oneness, being proud for your country, love towards your country. Now if we talk about, do remember, we were ruled by the Britishers. In simple, we were the colony of the Britishers. And during this period of time, these Britishers exploited all the resources which we had. And who were in difficulties? Who were in the hardships? We all the people of India. So when we talk about Central Powers, who were in the group of Central Powers? Germany, Austria-Hungary and Ottoman Empire, they were in one group. Hello students, the topic which we are learning today is nationalism in India. So when we talk about nationalism, the best example which we can take is the national flag which we have in front of us. So what feeling comes in your mind when you look at this flag? The feeling of oneness. You all believe that we all are Indians and you feel very proud about it. So when we talk about nationalism, it's a feeling of oneness, being proud for your country, love towards your country. So from where this unity or oneness came in India? Was it from the beginning? Or what were the reasons for this all? Let us understand in this beautiful chapter. Now if we talk about, do remember, we were ruled by the Britishers. In simple, we were the colony of the Britishers. And during this period of time, these Britishers exploited all the resources which we had. And who were in difficulties? Who were in the hardships? We all the people of India. Different groups, the peasants, the tribals, the businessmen, all the people in the country were struggling. They were in huge trouble and problem. They were in hardship. And the same thing led to the feeling of anti-feeling. That is anti-colonial movement. So when we talk about anti-colonial movement, that is turning against the Britishers. So why we were against the Britishers? Because of the hardships, because of the troubles and the way they were ruling our country. We did not like it. And because of the same reason, what happened? All the people of the country, they turned against one, that is the Britishers. So the enemy for everybody in the country was the Britishers, and because of the same thing, we all Indians came on the common platform and we became united. Because we all wanted one thing, that is the Britishers must leave our country because we saw what they did in our country. Further, if we talk about, let's understand what happened next and what problems came next. So the First World War that started in Europe, that had a lot of impact politically and economically on India. So let us understand what were the political and economic effects of First World War on India. Now, we must understand one thing. The First World War broke out in Europe. But you might be thinking, sir, if the war broke out in Europe, then how Indians participated in it? Simple question, simple answer we have. We were the colony of the Britishers. And this Britishers, they dragged us forcefully in this First World War, which broke out in the year 1914. And it was between the Central Powers and the Allied Powers. Who won here? The Allied Powers. So when we talk about Central Powers, who were in the group of Central Powers? Germany, Austria-Hungary and Ottoman Empire, they were in one group. On the other hand, if we talk about the Allied nations, in Allied nations, the Great Britain, the Russia, then USA joined in the end, France, they were in one group. The Allied nation won this First World War. And we saw what happened with the Germany. Okay, so this is how the First World War happened. But this First World War led to the great hardship for Indians. That is, First World War created new economic and political situation in India. Now, what was this situation? Let us understand. So, to understand, we need to understand that India was very famous in the world at that time. a lot of spices, cotton, all the things which we have in India was worldwide famous. A lot of people came down to India to buy our goods. Now, when these Britishers entered into the First World War, what happened is they jumped, and to take the war expenditure, they started increasing lot of taxes in India. So in simple words, this Britishers, to take the amount to fight in the First World War, they recovered all these expenses by taxes, custom duties and introduction of income tax. So till now, in India, nobody paid income tax. This was the first time where the Indians were paying the income tax. Why? Because these Britishers wanted more and more money. Why they wanted more money? To fight the war, because it required a lot of expenses. And this is how they recovered all the money. From whom? From Indians. So they were fighting the First World War with the money of Indians. Now let us understand what they did. Now because of this First World War, what were the hardships and the troubles which came for us, for the Indians? Now, first of all, price increase doubling between 1913 and 1918, leading to the extreme hardship for the common people. How did the price double? So when you raise the income tax, when you take the income tax, when you raise the custom duties, what will happen? The things which we are buying for 2 rupees, now you had to buy for 4 rupees during the war time. Who were suffering? We were suffering. We were not happy at all at this time. Secondly, if we talk about the custom duties were also raised. And because of the same thing, what happened is the prices of the essential goods raised during this war period. Again, we were in huge trouble. Not only this thing, they did not stop here. Further, if we talk about, they went villages to villages. Why they went villages to villages? They targeted the youngsters. Forcefully, they took the youngsters in the British army to fight the war in the First World War. Do you think the Indians were happy? No. Again, the Indians were angry. So this all things led to the anger among the Indians. We were not happy. Further came huge troubles. The things did not stop here. If we talk about in the year 1918 and 1919 and 1920-21, crops failed in many parts of India. So when the crop failed, what will happen? Food shortage, and because of which more troubles came. Again, further, influenza epidemic. So when we talk about influenza epidemic, a virus spreaded in India at that time. Around 12 million people lost their life during this period of time. So people hoped that their hardship would end, but there was no end for these hardships. We were struggling, and we needed a leader at this time to fight against these Britishers and to guide us, to show the path that how united to stand with the Britishers and fight against them. So during this period of time, a leader appeared on the scene. So who was the leader who appeared on this time? That is on January 1915. So the leader we are talking about is Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. That is, we are talking about Mahatma Gandhi ji, who came from South Africa in the year 1915. So Mahatma Gandhi ji appeared on the scene, and he showed people a new way to fight against these Britishers. I hope all the points we discussed in this entire lecture are clear to you. To get more videos like this, stay connected. Thank you.